Okay, so guys, check this out. I could use air gestures where I could actually do a hand sign at my phone to reject a call or do a 2-finger peace sign to answer calls, and it even puts it on loudspeaker. Welcome to the unboxing and review of the Infinix S5. This is Infinix's 6th installment to their S series lineup since 2016. I explained all about the launch in my previous video, which you can check out if you want some more context. Long story short, we've got two models of the Infinix S5 or the main lineup, which has 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage that costs 53,000 naira. Then the 6GB version, which costs 62,500 naira and is their top version. The version I have with me is the 4GB and 64GB configuration. Then we've got the S5 Lite with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage that goes for 46,500 naira, and a 3GB with 32GB of storage version that goes for 42,500 naira. So in all, there are two sets of 2 devices each, making a total of 4 devices. And of course, as I said, my review is based on the 4 and 64GB configuration. In this video, I'll share my thoughts about it based on my experience using it. I'll also share the pros and cons, things I liked and things I felt could have been better. And as always, I'll have my timestamps in the description if you want to skip ahead to different sections of this review to get informed faster. And I have a surprise gift for someone, so stick around to the end of this video. Without further ado, let's get to it. Diving right into the unboxing, you get the usual prints around it with free data for some network providers, which again, usual. What's new on the box though is the 100 days of broken screen repairs that you get. The first thing you see in the box is the smartphone itself with the inscriptions right on it. You get a 6.6-inch Infinity O display, 32 megapixel HDR camera, quad camera setup, and a 4000 mAh battery. We'll get to the device later. Right underneath it is the warranty card, and the upper box right on that is the SIM ejector tool. Inside that box, we get the user manual, X Club member invite, Care Plus documentation for that 100 screen damage repair we talked about. Then we've got the transparent case, which looks and feels good. It holds the phone together and makes it feel grippable. And then we've got the screen protector. For what's in the rest of the box, we get the headphones, charging cable, and the regular power adapter. That's all for what's in the box, and now we'll get to the device itself. Taking the wrap off the front shows you that flush 6.6-inch screen, and on the back, we're greeted with the Quetzal Cyan striped polycarbonate material. Color options for the S5 include Quetzal Cyan, as we have here, black and violet. It took 1 minute and 15 seconds to boot and set up the Infinix S5 without Face ID or Fingerprint, which ushers us into XOS 5.5 based on Android 9 with some improvements and features, which I'll save for later. As far as ports and I/O goes, we get nothing on the top of the device. On the right side is where we've got the volume rockers and the power button. The left side has the SIM and micro SD card slot for up to 256GB of extra storage. On the bottom of the device, we get the speaker grill, USB 2 transfer and charging port, microphone and headphone jack. I think we could have at least gotten a USB-C port for the price of up to 63,000 naira. The front of the S5 houses the 32 megapixel camera in that hole punch, which is the main attraction for the front of this device. Above it is the ambient light sensor and earpiece tucked away nicely, and on the back we get the quad camera setup with the same inscription written beside it: quad flash, fingerprint reader, and Infinix logo. Moving towards the lower region, we've got the S logo and the designed by Infinix inscription. The device doesn't weigh too much even with the case on. Overall usability and feel in the hand was quite fine in my opinion and during my usage. It's a mesh between unibody on the back and a raised front, so there's that ridge as you hold onto the edge. The display on this device is quite tall at 6.6 inches. It's a 720p display, 720 by 1600 with a medium 270 ppi. Of course, YouTube videos are capped at 720p, which is kind of a bummer. In terms of quality, I'll say that it's what I expected. I wasn't distracted by the hole punch display. It's just that it's 720p. This is something I wish was better on this device because competitors like Xiaomi already provide FHD devices with up to 2340 by 1080p, one of which I reviewed earlier, and it comes at almost the same price as the S5. This is something that could sway potential interest from buyers, but yeah, I wish it was a 1080p display. There is no visible vignette or screen bleeding, but if you angle the phone slightly, you see a small shadow under the camera, but it's not so much of a big deal. You can also hide the notch, but that creates this weird gigantic forehead, which I think kind of defeats the whole purpose of getting this device in the first place. There's also no dark mode. The only search of dark in the settings brings an app which we don't know what it even does. I also like that there's a dedicated, or should I say prominent section for system navigation in the settings. Here you can see three types of navigations: key navigation buttons, which are the default, then there's gesture navigation, which is just okay. It kind of mimics the key navigation with swipes. You can swipe up on the right side to go back, you can swipe up in the middle to go home, and you can swipe on the left for multitasking. And then there's mixed navigation, which I very much prefer, a mix of both gesture and key navigation to show the back button, and you can even swipe between applications. Now to the additional features. Okay, so guys, check this out. I could use air gestures where I could actually do a hand sign at my phone to reject a call, or do a two-finger peace sign to answer calls, and it even puts it on loudspeaker. It worked like 80% of the time. I think this feature would be useful, for instance, if your hands are soiled. For accuracy, it has to be far away but around the camera's line of sight. There's also these experimental features where you can save WhatsApp stories for specific people on WhatsApp for more than 24 hours. Maybe it's a close relative who you often enjoy their stories. These stories will be downloaded and saved. In the Social Turbo app, you can choose to save these files from up to 15 days to forever, and there's a toggle to automatically save WhatsApp status. It also has beauty filter for WhatsApp video calls, so you look prettier. I don't know why you would want to use something like this, but hey, it's a feature. To access this feature for WhatsApp, simply hit the XOS Labs in the settings, and then you could see Social Turbo settings. In terms of day-to-day use, I'll say watching videos or browsing social media was smooth for the most part. I didn't notice any deviation from the norm as much. However, if you're consuming a lot of media, music and videos, etc., Infinix provides some headphones in the box. As far as sound quality from playback though, you've got a single speaker right down there. In terms of microphone quality and speaker quality, here's how it sounds. So this is the sound quality of the Infinix S5. I'm holding it the same way I'll hold it when I'm making a phone call. Do let me know what you think about the sound quality in the comment section down below. It did lack some bass in the music playback, but it was fairly loud with a bit of crunch to it. In terms of the microphone quality though, it did sound quite clear and better than some devices within this price range that I've tested. As far as specifications go, the Infinix S5 comes with a Helio P22 octa-core processor. And from the previous video I made, a lot of people weren't too pleased about this addition. In my experience using this device, however, I didn't notice any noticeable lag or drawback, but a true test to know if this processor isn't compatible would be a much longer period of usage, especially since it's quite priced competitively with smartphones shipping with something like the Snapdragon 665. My S5 here comes with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage, which can be expanded by a further 256 gigabytes. There is a maximum version with 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. So basically, when you max out, you can actually get up to 348 gigabytes of storage. I'll leave a link to where you can check out for the specifications and read more about the specs in the description below. About their availability, on the 12th of November, pre-order would end for the S5s. Gameplay in my experience was okay. PUBG's graphics was default low because it's of course a 720p display. There was no lag in the graphics as well since it was of course low. I did experience a little warmness in the hand during gameplay, but that quickly went away. It was up to 41 degrees. As far as battery life on the S5s, in my usage, the 4000 mAh battery did last for quite the time. Although heavy use did drain the battery a lot due to my over testing, at the end of the day, I usually had about 20 to 30% remaining after using it for calls, social media, browsing, and more basic uses. It's basically about, 7 hours, 5 to 7 hours of heavy use. When it comes to charging speed though, it took 30 minutes to get from 0 to 19% and another 30 minutes to get to 39%. So basically that's 0 to 39% or approximately 40% in 1 hour. In total, it took 3 hours to get to 100% from 0%. What are your thoughts on this charging speed? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, about unlocking methods, you get face unlock, which is pretty fast and it lets you choose how it behaves after its applications, and fingerprint, which works just fine, not too fancy like in-display fingerprint readers. When it comes to camera on the Infinix S5, Infinix is more in the game of numbers or quantity, if you will. Just like other competitors, we get a quad AI camera on the back with a hole punch 32 megapixel camera in front. The specs on those quad cameras from the top to the bottom are 1. A 2 megapixel depth sensor, 2. A 16 megapixel f1.8 wide lens, 3. A 5 megapixel ultra wide lens, which also doubles as the macro lens. And the last lens doesn't cover anything when it's hidden. But on stage, Infinix calls this an AI camera lens, which I think should be a VGA low light camera. I'm guessing so, since even when it's covered, it doesn't affect the scene detection feature. The camera app is pretty much the standard app, no pro mode. However, you get this nice animation when you switch to the front camera. It's also got Google Lens, which can be useful in some scenarios as well. Portrait mode shots of my hand came out quite well because the edges were defined, and in fact, there's such high detail. However, something like faces, people, which usually is what is snapped more in portrait mode, wouldn't really come out well, as they would usually be soft or washed out anyway, and the edges were super cut, making it look really artificial. Wide angle shots versus 1x shots were quite different. It looked a little faded on the wide angle, while the 1x lens was just normal in the colors with slight saturation. HDR shots looked quite pleasant as well, and I said that color contrast, when gotten right, also did look quite nice as well. Video on here isn't stabilized, and the highest setting for video on cameras is 1080p at 30 fps. It also did struggle with exposure and focus sometimes, but a tripod and a third-party camera app could help. Hey, what's up guys? So this is the front-facing camera video quality of the Infinix S5. Just like the previous iterations, there's quite some grain in this video, and there's also huge exposure at the back. And as you can see, when I cover my hand, when I cover the lens with my hand, it evens everything, and when I take it off, boom. Let me know what you guys think about this camera's video quality as well as the audio quality in the comment section down below. That's it for this video guys. Do let me know what your thoughts are about the Infinix S5. In terms of my verdict, I'd say that the S5's hole punch design brings about a nicely designed smartphone. However, it isn't the best in terms of camera quality, which may sway a lot of people. For almost 63,000 naira, I could commend Infinix for adding 128 gigabytes of storage to their lineup, but processing power is something that means a lot to customers, and this may not be at their vantage point as far as this goes. Again, based on all what I've said, what are your thoughts? If you found this video useful, do hit that like button, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when I drop a new video. PS guys, I'm giving away one Infinix S5, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you have notifications turned on, and you're following on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Just share me a screenshot there, and you could also use that to share this video to people who you think would be interested from your socials. That's it. Thank you for watching this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.